Hello and welcome to Box, where we unbox, review and demonstrate the latest tech. Today we have with us this Asus ROG Flow X13 laptop with an additional XG Mobile GPU. Designed to be one of the most flexible gaming notebook PCs on the market, this 2021 X13 from Asus checks all boxes for creative, professional and gaming needs. Though you might be skeptical when looking at its small, lightweight frame, it holds up beautifully against demanding software and games, especially when teamed up with the accompanying XG Mobile external graphics, housing a powerful GeForce RTX 3080 GPU. Even when you think there's nothing left to add, it surprises you once more with the transformation into a tablet with a stylus pen, to continue creating in more ways than you could imagine. Taking a look over the design, the X13 brings multiple options of use with its flexible nature. Its classic all-black design is perfect for fitting into any setting. The texture back does offer a bit more of that striking gamer aesthetic though, even giving a little bit of additional grip when holding onto your arm. Opening it up, one of the first things I noticed was the unusual shape. Now it's a 16x10 size that stands much taller for a more square-like open space, better suited for creative programs and tablet work. The whole body is beautifully lightweight, coming in at about 1.3 kilograms. I can hold it in my arms with ease over long periods of time, or even just in one hand without straining my wrists. The measurements are around 290mm wide by 222mm deep, which is just compact enough to fit into a small bag on the go, especially considering it's only 15.8mm thick when closed. When I said it was flexible, I wasn't exaggerating. The screen has an impressive 360-degree hinge that lets you angle the screen back as far as you like in regular laptop form, as well as giving you the freedom to fold it back completely in on itself. I like that I can use it in this tent position for watching movies, or freeing up space for playing games with the controller, or folding it down flat to use it as a tablet for designing my next project. The hinge is stable enough to let me angle it as I need, holding it firmly in place to avoid any glare. Now looking at both keyboard and touchpad, it is a little bit disproportionate. The keys to touchpad ratio weighs a little more in the key's favour, offering plenty of space for typing but a little less room for scrolling. The touchpad, though smaller than usual, is still a pretty decent size for use with both hands. Overall, it's quite responsive and the click is nice and quiet. When it comes to the keys, you get everything you expect to see in terms of function keys, along with a few extras like the ROG specific Armoury Crate key. As an added bonus, the backlit chiclet keys help separate them from the black chassis. It's much more atmospheric in a dark room however, with the light being much more subtle in daylight conditions. But with it being quite thin, the shallow keys are nice and quiet, delivering a much softer typing experience. When it comes to inputs and connections on offer, you are looking at a different set than your average laptop. On the left, there's the connection for the XG Mobile, a full-size HDMI, and a 3.5mm headphone/microphone port. On the right, there's a power button, a USB, and a USB-C. Now the list is pretty short, often leaving me to get creative in what I have connected at one time, and as it charges via USB-C, I can be left one port down when connecting other important devices, but this is where the XG Mobile comes into play. Thankfully, it brings 4 extra 3.2 USB ports, a second 2.0 HDMI, a DisplayPort that supports G-Sync, an Ethernet connection, and even a standard SD card reader. As an editor myself, I found these additions to be exceptionally helpful for offloading footage and connecting hard drives, as well as having the ability to connect directly to the internet for consistent download speeds and faster broadband access. Even though the XG Mobile must be plugged into the power to function, it's not necessarily a setback because it does double up as a constant power source for the laptop when connected, easily freeing up that additional USB-C for even more connectivity. My only slight issue with the button placement is the power button situated on the right. I sometimes found myself pressing it by accident when moving it around on my lap, but it only ever put it briefly to sleep and started up pretty quickly to get back on track. Now, the XG Mobile has many uses, from helping run high-spec games to maintaining smooth running of a wide variety of creative software. Of course, the highlight of having a detachable GPU is that you won't have to carry around a weighty laptop if you don't need access to that kind of power. Holding it in my hands, it's not super heavy and only measures around 21cm wide, 15cm deep, and 3cm high. Now I like that the design matches the laptop itself, and even has some unique characteristics like the ROG style vent and the red interior lighting when powered up. Connecting it to the laptop was simple, just plugging in the connector and locking it into place using the top switch. There's even a handy LED on the connector itself, which goes from white to red to let me know whether it's connected properly. Now when you plug it in, there is an on-screen prompt straight away with all the instructions you need to disconnect safely. With the XG connected, it did work very smoothly, which is great for uninterrupted gaming and editing. Of course, it does ground you significantly with needing to be tethered to the power, as well as being unable to move it due to the short connection cable on the external GPU. But I never thought I'd see a laptop perform as well as it did with the extra power that the GPU offers. I often forgot I was even using a laptop. Getting a performance that was so close to my desktop PC when gaming, it was slightly a surreal experience. Taking the external GPU aside, the laptop does come with some great internal tech on its own. Internally, you get an AMD Ryzen 9 5980HS processor alongside an integrated NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1650 GPU with 4GB dedicated memory. There's also 32GB DDR4 RAM with 16GB memory and an impressive 1TB SSD storage. Even without the additional GeForce RTX 3080 external graphics on the XG, I felt the laptop alone did perform above my expectations for such a small machine. I had a go at playing a few demanding game titles both with the XG connected and without, and surprisingly I had little performance issues in both circumstances. Of course, I needed to significantly reduce the quality output of the games I played when I had the XG disconnected. I played Forza Horizon 5 and Back 4 Blood respectively, and with the external graphics connected, I could play at full spec, ultimate quality settings with all the supporting features like reaching a max 120Hz refresh rate and having input lag support enabled without the game stuttering or struggling at all. With it disconnected, I got the same results in gameplay, but with only medium quality and 60Hz refresh rate enabled. I think the addition of the detachable GPU is a genius move here. For a laptop, it was amazing to be able to achieve such quality with a portable machine. Though I sacrificed the quality slightly in removing it, it was freeing having the ability to play these types of games comfortably on my lap or when out travelling, knowing it would support any title I choose if needed. Again, even when using creative apps like Premiere Pro and Photoshop, it was reassuring to know that I could edit confidently with the additional power of the external GPU as a support. It did run nicely enough without it, but with it I found smooth mouse movements, clean and quick footage imports, and easy, full quality playback. Photoshop also ran pretty smooth in tablet mode when editing photos on the go, but of course when working on heavier projects with multiple windows for example, I got much better results using the XG. Now taking a look at the screen, you get a 13.4-inch IPS touchscreen display with a 1920 by 1080 resolution and a 60 to 120Hz refresh rate. Even with the FHD resolution, the quality was nicely sharp, playing movies and games in vibrant detail with a nice natural colour depth. You do get a decent 100% sRGB colour with a 75% DCI-P3 colour for accurate photo and video editing. Of course, with the alternate size screen, you won't get a complete full screen in movies and shows, leaving larger black borders on the top and bottom. Now even though the screen is glossy, I felt I got a much stronger, sharper image than a matte display. I did struggle a little with the glare, but thanks to the many display options I had on offer and the extended angle on the screen, it wasn't hard to reposition the perfect angle to help reduce the effects of glare. When going through a few display tests, I found it performed beautifully with little to no deformities that I could see. I did have the brightness set to full throughout, as I found the screen to be a little dim when watching darker content. But when looking for any sign of IPS glow or backlight bleed, I saw nothing to worry about in both light and dark conditions, and in the dead pixels test, it was all clear when showing a few blocks of solid colour. Now if you are planning on using the tablet portion of this laptop, you will need one of these. Now this Asus Stylus did come with the laptop itself, but if it doesn't, then you can purchase one of these from Asus's website. Though I'm no artist, the addition of the touchscreen tablet mode was very interesting. I liked how the touchscreen element was available even in regular laptop mode, and with the inclusion of the stylus, it opened up so many other avenues of use that I wouldn't normally explore. Using the whiteboard feature, I got to play around a little with the stylus. I felt the sensitivity was brilliant for drawing thanks to the pressure sensitivity. It did have a small delay every now and then, but most of the time it had great responsiveness and accuracy. I even had fun discovering other uses like writing out my searches on YouTube and taking handwritten notes. Even though I didn't really explore this feature to its full potential, this would really come in handy for illustrators and designers, leaving one less accessory at home by replacing the need for an external tablet. As with most features on this laptop, you'll find the sound quality to be much better than you'd expect. The two-speaker system delivers high-resolution audio using Dolby Atmos tech. I played a few movies and music videos to hear a wide sample of sounds, and the audio was strangely level with some beautiful bass and detail. Of course, it's hard to take my word for it, so here's a quick sound sample to give you an idea on the quality on offer here.
And her cover bottles are going to die. I ain't driving. Oh, 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 oh.
With some people working from home more often than not nowadays, I know it's important to have a decent camera and microphone with you to hand. Well, this laptop comes equipped with an inbuilt 720p camera and accompanying microphone to keep in touch with colleagues and friends. Now, I found the quality was generally good, showing my face in adequate detail within this evenly lit space. The field of vision was also quite wide, fitting both me and the camera within the frame. Of course, the audio quality was clear enough to hear my voice, making it a great communication tool for work and home use. Lastly, I just want to go through the battery life. It's a 4-cell lithium-ion battery with 62 watt-hours of power. Now, I use this laptop pretty extensively, putting it through more than you would normally do in an 8-hour window. I had it turned on constantly running Adobe apps, playing games through the Xbox app, and running YouTube and Netflix content. The battery was fully charged on power up, and I would say it lasted a good 6 hours before I needed to plug it into the power. However, this is a little hard to judge because you also get additional power boosts when connecting the external XG Mobile, which greatly extended the overall battery life depending on what I was doing. Now, the battery would probably last a healthy 9 hours or so if you turned down the brightness and only used it for writing documents and watching movies. But if you're predominantly using creative apps, I find the 6-hour battery life without the mobile unit a fair estimate to make. Of course, the Armoury Crate app does help significantly in maintaining the fans and keeping an eye out on the overall performance of the laptop at times, which really helps keeping on top of power management. Additionally, you do get a small 100-watt AC power adapter with a generous cable length to keep you going, which is the perfect size for fitting in a bag alongside this machine. But honestly, with all of the power aids at your disposal, Asus have given you plenty of options for keeping your machine going without having to worry about the battery letting you down. So overall, this laptop is definitely one to consider as a powerful tool for creating and gaming on the go. With or without the additional XG Mobile, this machine has so much to offer, both in terms of general day-to-day use, extensive gaming, and high-performance app use. The XG Mobile aspect may be a little cumbersome for the usual laptop user, but for what it's worth, it's essentially transforming your laptop into a portable powerhouse of a PC that you can take anywhere. Packing the power of your home PC into a small package really lets you do anything you set your mind to, wherever your work takes you, which is something that's generally hard to come by. So for a laptop with a little extra punch, I would definitely rank this laptop respectively high when it comes to choosing the ultimate all-in-one machine. So what do you think about the Asus ROG Flow X13? Let us know in the comments below, and if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to Box, where we have plenty of hands-on reviews on the latest tech. And as always, thanks for watching.